Hi there, it's Julie DiMatteo from thepaperpixie.com, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And in today's tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to make this adorable cross-topped box. And I originally saw a tutorial for this on Sam Donald's YouTube channel. She's also known as Poodles. She makes some of the most fabulous 3D items. And I adapted this to work with half of a sheet of cardstock. So it's going to work with a sheet of cardstock that measures 5.5 by 8.5, and then that way you can get two of them out of one piece of cardstock. So let's get started. I'm going to bring in my Simply Scored, and on the short side of the cardstock we are going to score it at 1 inch, 1 7/8 inches, and 3.5. We're going to rotate it clockwise and score it at 2, 4, 6, and 8. And while we're here, we are also going to score at 1, 3, 5, and 7, but only down to that first score line at the 1 inch mark. So 1, stopping at that first score line, 3, 5, and 7. All right, so we're done with the Simply Scored. And I want to make sure you can see those score lines where we stopped the little short ones. Now I'm going to use my Stampin' Pierce mat and also using a metal ruler. Metal rulers work the best to make these diagonal score lines, but we are going to score from the bottom of that little 1 inch score down to this corner here. Sure if you can see that, but from here to here. Okay, so I'm just going to line up my ruler, and I'm going to do that for each of those little tiny score marks. Okay, let's see if you can see that. There we go. All right. So now what we're going to do is fold and burnish on our score lines. And this will just give the project very crisp edges. I'm just folding and scoring the vertical score lines, and then I'll go and do the horizontal. And then what I'm going to do on this top score line is actually fold it the other direction first, and then fold it the other way. And that's going to make it a little bit more pliable to help us close the top of this box. Okay, and now we can also pinch on these small score lines. Might be easier to pinch this way. And then on the diagonal ones as well. And you want to be real careful just to fold on those diagonal score lines. You don't want to fold so then you have score lines in other places that you don't want them. And I'm going to kind of try to go both ways with those. All right, now we're going to do a little bit of cutting. And this color, Sahara Sand, is probably a little bit challenging to see on video, but I'm just going to notch out the top here, and we're going to cut out this bottom long rectangle here. But I'm also going to do a little notch. That way when we close up the box, we don't have any strange corners sticking out. Okay, and then we're going to cut up. This bottom section is 2 inches wide. We're going to cut up from here to the score line. These are going to be the bottom flaps to create the bottom of the box. All right, so all the cutting is done. Now I have some pieces of designer series paper. This is from the Pick a Pattern designer series paper that is going to come in the new annual catalog. So this will be available June 1st. And I've got 4 pieces that measure 1.5 inches by 1 7/8 inches, and we're going to go ahead and adhere those before we close up the box. It's easier to adhere them now. And I'm just using my Tombow liquid glue. And they're going to go on these boxes right here along the center. And there'll just be a little bit of a border. All right, now we're going to go ahead and put our box together. I'm going to use tear and tape adhesive here. And we're going to run adhesive along this side tab here. And I'm putting the tear and tape right up to that score line. The other spot that we're going to do adhesive is the second flap, but on the other side. And I'm just going to put 2 strips there. We're not going to put anything super heavy in here, just some chocolate. And so we only need to adhere one of the flaps. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and take off the tear and tape. Let's do the tab first. Because this has an equal number of sides, I'm just going to fold this side down and this side to meet it, and it should line up just right. There we go. Now this, because this is where the seam is, this is going to be considered the back of our box. So I'm going to go ahead and close the 2 side flaps, then the back flap, and that's why we put the adhesive on the second flap, because this is going to be our final flap. Go ahead and adhere that down. All right, starting to come together. We need to put some chocolate. Can't forget the chocolate. So I'm going to throw some Hershey's Kisses in there. It's a really good sized box. All right, so now I'm going to just start pushing in these sides, and I'm going to start to twist. Now this is going to be the hardest part, is doing this the first time, but once you get those score lines, and you'll see I'm gently trying to motivate those little diagonal score lines, and you'll feel it start to go. Perfect. I may have put a little too much chocolate in there, but you can never have too much chocolate. All right, so there we go. Now it'll be real easy when you open it up to then put it back down. All right. Oh, I love that box. Okay, I am going to take out a couple pieces of chocolate. Let's see. Just take out 2. I'll just eat those. All right. Okay, perfect. So this is the front of our box, because that's where we've got the fold here. And I'm going to put a little sentiment on here. And the sentiment we're going to use is from Pieces and Patterns, which coordinates with this designer series paper. It just has an adorable mix of patterns. I'm going to be using this stamp set quite a bit because I just love the combination of stamps here. We're going to use the sentiment, "Why Thank You," and I'm going to ink that up with basic black archival ink. We're going to stamp it onto Whisper White. Now this is a felt pad. Our archival inks are a little bit slightly different type of pad, so I kind of tap a little bit and twist to get some good ink coverage. Stamp down and straight back up. And then I'm going to punch that out using 1 3/8 inch circle punch. Perfectly fits around that sentiment. And then through the magic of video, I colored this in using a Flirty Flamingo Stampin' Write marker. It was very relaxing while I did it. It's like some adult coloring there for you. So I colored in those letters using the Flirty Flamingo Stampin' Write marker. And then we're going to use the 1 1/2 inch punch and punch out a piece of Emerald Envy. And that's going to perfectly layer underneath our sentiment there. All right, I'm going to grab my liquid glue. I'm going to pop that on the front of our box using a couple of dimensionals. And then the final touch is going to be this sweet little crushed curry flower, which I'm going to use, oh boy, I think it's called the Tree Builder Punch, but it has a sweet little flower on there. And I just cut a little strip of scrap. I just need to slide that in there to get a little flower. And then using the Stampin' Pierce mat and the stylus from the Simply Scored, I'm just going to push that down and give it a little bit of dimension, that flower. And I'm going to add a little rhinestone, one of the small ones, right to the center there. And I'm going to pick that up with a glue dot. And we're going to stick that right to the front of our little candy box here. The cross top box. Super cute. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, and I'd love for you to visit my blog at thepaperpixie.com, where I post during weekdays, and I also try to put out a new video once a week. If you have any questions, just let me know. I will have all of the dimensions and score lines and all of those things in the description of the video, as well as on the blog post. Thanks again for visiting. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care.